Okay, so hello everyone. This is what? This is a training course. This is a training course to learn JavaScript and React in advance. Okay, from zero to superhero. You can say if you are the beginner, we will learn this course in such a way so that you can easily understand with the example, with the code, and with the explanation. Right. So before starting the JavaScript, I would like to discuss about web development stack in this part one. Okay, web development stack is nothing but what are the technologies are involved in order to develop the web applications. Okay, so first we will discuss this. Okay, so see web development stack. So inside the web development, what we have front end, backend, and database. Okay, and then server. So what is front end, what is backend, and what is database, and what is the server, and what they do actually. Let's see, let's understand this. Okay, so see web development stack. Okay, so front end. Front end means where user interact. So user interact to the front end. And what are the technologies we required in order to develop the front end? So we need HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Angular framework, or we can say a library which is React. Okay, with the help of these technologies, we can create a front end. Okay, and backend. What is the backend? Backend means the data, is going, whatever data is coming from the front end. So backend will process that data. Okay, whatever data is coming from the front end, the backend will process that data, right? And how we design the backend? With the help of Java, with the help of C#, .NET, PHP, Python, Node.js, Express. With the help of these technologies, we can create our backend. Okay, and database, whatever data is coming from backend after processing, whatever data is coming from the backend, that data will store inside the database. Okay, so database, how we create, how we design the database? With the help of technologies like Oracle, MySQL, and MongoDB. So with the help of these technologies, we create our database schema. Okay, and what is the server? Okay, so means you have created front end of your application, you have designed the back end of your application, you have designed database of your applications. Now means you are ready to deploy your application. So where you will deploy? We deploy our application on server. Deploy means you are what we can say, you are just like what, like we want to make available our website for all. Means if you will not host your website, if you will not deploy your website, means this website, whatever web application you have created, that will be available on your system only. Okay, but when you deploy this application on internet, means it will be available for all the users. Okay, that's why we deploy our application. And what are the technologies involved in order to deploy our application? So we have servers, we have servers like Apache, Tomcat, WebLogic, and Glassfish. So these are several functions, several servers where we can deploy our application. I hope you are clear with this. Okay, as you can see here, this is what front end. Okay, user interact with this layer. Which layer? Front end layer. With the help of front end layer, user interact to your application. Okay, backend means processing or business layer. Backend is also known as processing layer, or we can say business layer, where we will write our business logic, or we write how data will process. Okay, and database is what? Store the data. It will store the data. And server, a place where we deploy our application. Okay, in order to make our application live for all. Okay, so let's understand what's the difference between framework versus library. Actually, when you will start learning React.js, okay, when you will start learning React.js, means this question will comes lot of time in front of you. Means what is framework and what is library? React is a library or React is a framework? If React is a library, then what is library? If React is a framework, so what is framework? Okay, so we will understand. Okay, so what is framework? A group of tools and libraries that simplify coding. We can say framework is a place where we can have libraries, okay, specific libraries and tools in order to create end-to-end application. Whereas a library, a set of function for specific tasks in code. Okay, so library contain a specific task related function. Okay, but framework contains what? Framework contains, like we can say, it contains libraries along with tools. It contains library and tools combination. For example, you can understand For example, there is a doctor. There is a doctor. Okay, there is a doctor which he is specialized in one field. There is a doctor. Okay, there is a doctor who is specialized in one field only. So that is what? That is the example of library. Because a doctor specialized in one field can do one task. Right? If we talk about framework, so framework you can understand this is what hospital. Framework is what like a hospital where you can see many doctors which are specialized in different areas. Okay, so means a framework gives you complete solution. We can say end-to-end solution. Okay, so a library is specialized in one thing only. Okay, means you can with the help of library you can design UI. You can say complete UI, and here you can develop in framework. You can develop UI plus as well as you can manage the we can say functionality also. Functionality. Okay, because it is providing tools as well. Right? I hope you understood this, and furthermore you can read this. Okay, so you can understand with this. Let me explain you more. Okay, React is a library, not a framework. So what is React? React is a library, not a framework, right? Framework is what? Library plus tools. Library plus tools is a framework, and React is just a library where you can see functions. Okay, so what is library actually? A library is a collection of code that helps with a specific task. Okay, like a specialized doctor. It provides tools to solve particular problem but does not control the structure of your application. Okay, so it is not capable to control the structure of the application, right? And it solve particular problem. Library solve particular problem, but does not control the flow of your application. You call a library when you need it in your code. So whenever you require any specific thing in your code or in your project, so that in that case, what you can do, you can install a library in order to resolve your particular problem. Right? Now, what is framework? What is framework? A framework is a complete set of tools that helps you build an entire application. Okay, means framework allow us to develop end-to-end application. Okay, framework is responsible to develop an end-to-end application. Okay, it is not only solve specific problems but also organize the overall structure of your code. Okay, it organize overall structure of your code, right? So I hope you guys understanding what is library, what is framework. Okay, so see this point. Point number one is what library help you to specific task. Okay, the same discussion we are doing from previous two slides. So the same thing is here. So framework provide everything you need to build an app. So whatever the things you required in order to build an application provided by the framework. For example, I have a laptop. Suppose I have a laptop. So laptop is an example of framework. Okay, because it is a complete kit. Laptop is what? Complete kit in order to do whatever task a computer can do. It can do all the tasks. But in case of computer, you need separate thing. You need mouse separate, you need keyboard separate, you need CPU separate, right? And you need desktop separate. So means separately you are bringing the items. Okay, and each item is specific to one task. So and you are combining all in order to achieve the computer. But laptop is what? Laptop is we can say framework which provide end-to-end solution. Means you don't need to purchase mouse, you don't need to purchase what we can say keyboard, you don't need to purchase CPU, right? You don't need to purchase other external devices because laptop gives you complete solution. So it acts as a framework. Whereas computer, your desktop is an example of library, right? Okay, as you can see here, these are what libraries like Movement.js, Lodas, D3, React. Okay, and Angular is what? Angular is a framework. So Movement.js, so it deals with date and times. Okay, so date and time related activity you can do with the help of movement.js library. Okay, lodas. Okay, we have this library. This deals with arrays and collections. Okay, it makes arrays and collection easy. D3JS helps you create interactive chats. Okay, it create what? It helps to, for example, in your application, if you want to add chat system, then you can use this library, D3. Okay, React, a library for building UI components. Okay, if you want to build your UI components, then what you will use? You will use React library. Okay, after that, we have Angular, a framework with tools like, okay, in Angular, this is what framework. So it comes with tools like RxJS, RxJS form validation is there. Okay, and material for building your full web apps. Okay, so means we can say framework is what a complete solution, but library is not a complete solution. Okay, UI and functionality. If you have more functionality, if your UI, if you have UI heavy means if in your project means the question is when to select library and when to select framework, when to select React library and when to select Angular. So if you are seeing in your project, there are lots of work related to UI and less functionality. In this case, you will choose React. If your project consists of more functionality rather than UI. So UI is less, but functionality is more. So what you will choose in this case, you can choose Angular when functionalities are heavy, and when UI user interface or we can say design is heavy, then you can go for the React. Okay, so these are the scenarios you can choose the technology. Okay, so what is the difference between React and Angular? So see, React is what lightweight and Angular is what heavy. Okay, and React is what JSX and JavaScript. Means JSX plus JavaScript means in HTML itself. In HTML itself, we can combine JavaScript. We can combine what? JavaScript. So it support what? JSX. Okay. And Angular is what? HTML with TypeScript. Right. But we can also do React with TypeScript. But commonly developers choose React with JavaScript and Angular is what? TypeScript. Okay. So this is what unidirectional and this is two-way. Two-way binding it supports. Okay, and this support one way binding. Okay, I will tell you in detail what is the mean of unidirectional, two-way directional. I will tell you. Okay, so React basically support virtual DOM. Virtual DOM, we can say it has a copy of DOM itself. Okay, React also have its own DOM, which is virtual DOM. DOM is nothing but like a hierarchy of HTML element. Okay, like H1 is there, then P1 is there, like in tree form. You can see HTML elements in tree form. So that is what DOM. And it has what regular DOM. Okay, Angular has regular DOM. Right? Regular DOM means the regular DOM having HTML, the same DOM also have by the Angular regular DOM, but it has virtual DOM concept. Okay, so for API, it use Axios, and here for API, it use HTTP client module. Right? Okay, so dependency injection is there, but here no. Form validation is not available here, but form validation is available here. Okay, extra library required, but here you don't need extra libraries because this is what complete solution. Like a laptop. Okay, laptop is a complete solution. Whereas desktop, you need to purchase different parts of the computer. Okay, so what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite is you should have a browser, Chrome browser, and you should have one editor, code editor, which is you can use VS Code. Okay, and you need to install extension. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss. I mean, in the next lecture, I will tell you. We will start with JavaScript. Actually, we will start with JavaScript. So before starting with JavaScript, you need to fulfill this prerequisite. Okay, you should have make sure you should have a Chrome browser and make sure you have VS Code installed in your computer. Okay, you will simply type VS download on Chrome browser and it will give you the link in order to download the VS Code. So you should have two things. In the next lecture, we will discuss. Okay, so in the next lecture, we will start basics of JavaScript. We will start JavaScript in basics. In basics means we will study in detail. Okay, we will study in detail means we will cover each and every small point. Okay, this is what? This is the mean of zero to superhero, right? So don't worry if you know the JavaScript or you don't know the JavaScript. We will complete our JavaScript and we will complete our React.js also. Okay, both the things we have to complete. So thank you everyone for watching this video. In the next video, we will discuss more about JavaScript. Okay, so thank you everyone.